This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. The choices undertaken by each individual influence the day-to-day activities in life. Critical thinking is a tool used in decision-making. It entails gathering facts to support the choices an individual intends to make. According to Paul and Elder, the universe faces numerous crises due to quick-fix judgment. The authors suggest that critical thinking will aid individuals in dealing with the qualms of contemporary society and becoming secure in the choices they make. Furthermore, Paul and Elder become conscious of 9 particular qualities that characterize critical thinkers. These traits include integrity, meekness, valor, perseverance, confidence, understanding, independence, and fairness. Individuals should strive to develop these qualities instead of relying on their gut feelings. Besides being necessary for individual decisions, critical thinking is the key to effective management and successful organization. Discussion. Benefits of critical thinking. According to Kirby and Goodpaster, 4 basic rules can be used in systematic thinking. The first one is observation. Observation triggers the mind to ask questions, such as why something happens. As a result, the mind becomes alert because of the interest developed. Critical thinking is beneficial because it arouses interest and passion. Instead of merely making choices, a desire to make the best choice is stirred up. Critical thinking seeks to bring out the magnitude of assessing information before making decisions. The second step is a hypothesis. The hypothesis relates 2 opinions. This is followed by experimentation. The experiment confirms that the hypothesis is accurate. Managers or leaders have an opportunity to examine previously made decisions and the consequences of those decisions. Critical thinking, therefore, allows managers to learn from other people's mistakes or strengths. It prevents leaders from making rushed decisions that lead to failure. Critical thinking involves using logic, learning how to ask questions, and considering various problem-solving perspectives. The goal is to select the most reasonable. Currently, business administrators are living in an up-to-the-minute global market. The markets change so fast without any warning. Critical thinkers have developed the ability to think holistically before making a choice. Essentially, critical thinking determines how well individuals handle the challenges they face. Critical thinkers are confident that a solution exists for every problem. They have learned to think beyond the object since critical thinkers pay attention to the small details that ordinary people miss. Supporting the decisions they make is so easy because of the knowledge they have on the subject. Critical thinkers are not afraid to make mistakes. They have the perseverance to hold on until they have made the proper judgment. Critical thinking is vital in controlling emotions. Critical thinkers have learned to act only when there is a reason. In many organizations, workers tend to disagree because they have different opinions. The ability to be in charge of feelings has prevented unnecessary arguments and fights in the office. Lastly, critical thinking recognizes orders. According to these writers, people can organize their thoughts to respond to natural and mental orders. Order is an essential tool in classification. Choices are classified in terms of similarities, outcomes, or time. Application of critical thinking. An excellent example of applying critical thinking was recently illustrated in our organization. The employees were frustrated because the company introduced uniforms. Previously, the management had asked a designer to take the employees' measurements and deliver uniforms once this was done. However, when the uniforms were issued, the management received complaints. The workers complained that the uniforms did not fit well. Some were too big, while others were too small. At first, the management paid little attention and ordered the workers to report to work in their uniforms. The organization had a special event on the first day the workers wore their uniforms. As a result, the company was criticized. This is an obvious scenario where the management failed to think critically before resolving. The narrow-mindedness of the management led them to assume that the workers refused to wear their uniforms because they did not want to embrace change. The company would have benefited well by embracing critical thinking elements. Rather than making an uninformed decision, they would have noticed the reason behind the employees' reluctance to embrace the new company policy of dress code. Perhaps they would have learned why the boycott and instituted fitting measures early before waiting for employees' cold disobedience. Conclusion. To be successful, one needs to develop the art of critical thinking. Critical thinking adopts a holistic approach to decision-making. It involves discipline and diligence. For every pronouncement, there has to be a basis. This rationale is attained by gathering information and comparing notes with other people. Critical thinking is about asking questions before making a selection. For a business executive, the goal is to make a decision that will benefit the supplier, the distributors, retailers, and consumers. If you want to find more works like this essay on critical thinking tools in the decision-making process, head over to ivypanda.com. It has a collection of free samples with thousands of submissions covering virtually all academic subjects. No registration required to access it.